We've seen the disaster that UCG has caused in Queensland with the state's worst environmental disaster in its history. Yet it could all happen here in our state.
Whether you are in poverty or whether you are the Prime Minister, we are all affected by climate change. We are all humans sharing the same home.
It's an important function of our ongoing democracy.
I got blood on my hands right now, and I'm stumbling through the dark in the dawn. I have found new ways, but no, I can't be the one that you need. Yeah, you know what I've done in the past. Still you say you and I, we can last. I have found new ways, but no, can I be the one that you need? Then I changed my mind. Maybe we got time to make this right. Can I be the one that you need? Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. I can't be the one that you need. Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. Can I be the one that you need? Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. Can I be the one that you need? I got blood on my hands right now, and I'm stumbling through the dark in the dawn. I have found new ways, but no, I can't be the one that you need. Yeah, you know what I've done in the past. Still you say you and I, we can last. I have found new ways, but no, can I be the one that you need? Then I changed my mind. Maybe we got time to make this right. Can I be the one that you need? Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. I can't be the one that you need. Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. Can I be the one that you need? Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. Can I be the one that you need?
Oh, okay. You just rotate it, do you? Fair enough. But generally he knows where he is in the packet. Where the other side of it?
Hello. Hey, great to see everybody here for the same reason as Torres Strait Islanders, for the Aboriginal stuff, for the everybody stuff. We're all here. One today. I know we always treasure Mother Earth, but today we got to treasure the men. I put the old man down here today, so everybody just put your hand up and he'll feel you today.
Just have a look for that. That's beautiful. I'll send her a photo. Glenda, a friend.
And the north will feel us, and the south, and the east, and the west will feel us today. And if you keep yelling out, the world will hear us today.
Well, my name's Angelina Harrody, and I'm a Ghana woman. And this is my brother who stands behind me and they support us. We have such a thing as men's business and women's business. And we look after our men and our men look after us. And I look around here today and I wonder what happened to a society where a male makes all of the decisions and not look after their young ones and their wives and the females of the clan group. All the men here that are here to support the feminine energy of the planet. It's a sad situation when little people have to come out as young as 5 and 6 and babies and brown to ask for air and water. Yay! Now, you know what? It's a sad day, but it's also a happy day. Because the voices of the mothers and fathers that have raised the next generation.
I'm afraid. I'm scared. Every day I'm alive. I can't help but worry. I can't help but to be anxious. I fear for the future, my future, your future, all of our futures. A future in which I once had beautiful dreams for. Now those dreams are polluted. They're polluted with coal, gas and oil. My dreams are flooded with water, dry with drought, and incinerated by fire. This is what we've been left with. And everything is predicted to get a lot worse. Extreme heat is putting the most vulnerable in our communities at huge risk. Half of the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest living ecosystem, has been devastated due to climate change. Droughts are pushing farmers to the brink. Animals are disappearing. Hundreds of millions of people will face water shortages and people will die in extreme.
In so many parts of the developing world, the climate crisis is forcing children out of education and into the workforce. It's robbing them of their future. The droughts, food insecurity, the failing crops, all caused by climate change, are forcing them to choose between an education and the livelihood of their families. This is real. This is happening. I've seen this firsthand when I went overseas, and we'll only see more young people forced to make such decisions if we do not act now. And the action that we need to take is incredibly clear. It means saying no to any new coal, oil or gas projects, including the Adani mine and including drilling in the Bight. We do want your hope, but hope is a process that is created by action, and there is no hope unless all of us step up to tackle this crisis together. We have a lineup of some incredible speakers here today to share their visions and stories for climate justice. So now we're going to hand over to Dwayne Colford and introduce...
It's always good to see some really bright, fresh faces here today for such an important event like the climate strike. Yeah, bring it up for the organisers. Yeah, let's make some noise. Firstly, I would like to thank Auntie and Uncle for the welcome to country and acknowledge that the land we meet on today is traditional land of the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual, ancestral and cultural connection to this country as it continues to this very day. Yep. I also want to pay my respects and acknowledge the Kaurna elders, past, present and emerging. My name is Dwayne Coulthard and I'm an Adyamatna man from the Northern Flinders Ranges. The Adyamatna traditional owners are from the far north of the Flinders Ranges, and I wanted to share with you some of the work that we're doing on the front lines that is happening as we speak. I work with an organisation called Original Power, which is a non-for-profit whose mission is to help build the capacity and work with traditional owners and community on projects that impact their country. We are currently working with the traditional owners, the Adyamatna Nation, in the far northern towns of Lee Creek and Copley against underground coal. We've seen the disaster that UCG has caused in Queensland with the state's worst environmental disaster in its history. Yet it could all happen here in our state if we don't speak up and support traditional owners in their opposition to stop UCG. This is not the only fight the Adyamatna country that is happening on Adyamatna country. We are fighting the federal government against a nuclear waste dump facility 40 kilometres outside of Hawker. Shame! The process by the federal government has been shameful and has been trying to divide and conquer our communities. Enough is enough. We will not give up and we will not give in. We will fight for our land and to ensure that we have a nuclear-free future for future generations. Adyamatna people are not alone in the struggle. First Nations people right across this continent, from north, south, east and west, have been the custodians and defenders of this country since time immemorial. If we are going to tackle this climate crisis, we need to arm ourselves with the knowledge that has sustained people of this country for thousands of years. The front lines are everywhere, and we need supporters like yourself here today to continue to build momentum and stand behind First Nations people in defending their country, our country. The mob in the Northern Territory are fighting Origin Energy against fracking on their traditional homelands. The Adani coal mine has been approved by the Queensland government, extinguishing native title. The fight to stop oil drilling off the coast of the Great Australian Bight. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But it is only together that as a movement that we can create the change necessary to save our planet. Just recently, the outback community town of Maree had recently run out of water. They are now relying on bottled water. This is not a story that is new. We've seen what's happened in rural and regional towns in New South Wales where there is a water crisis. This is why strong action and strong policy is needed to address the climate crisis. This is crucial. Without critical intervention, we can't keep going.
Of the modern world has been accumulating for decades, coupled with concrete evidence of climate change being significantly and dangerously accelerated by human action, pulling us closer to the brink of irreversible damage. Regardless, as each day goes by, our government continually fails to take adequate action to protect our world. Therefore, today, we stand up to say the blatantly obvious. Ignoring the declining state of our world will not make the issue of climate change go away. response, we are told our government wants more learning and less activism in schools. If what we've learnt was listened to, I wouldn't have to sacrifice one of my final days of Year 12 to be here, Mr. Morrison. If the voices of my fellow students were heard, they wouldn't have to miss another day of their education. If the demands of hundreds of thousands of adults was recognised, they wouldn't have to sacrifice work. As a rural student who has lived on a farm my whole life, I'm one of many from regional, rural and remote communities feeling the devastating impacts of and demanding action on climate change. Whilst the agricultural industry does contribute to climate change, it's also what feeds us, responsible for 93% of our country's domestic food needs. Carbon emissions produced by the agricultural industry pale in comparison to emissions caused by worldwide fossil fuels. So rather than undermining those who grow the food which enables our survival, it is more effective to focus on curbing the most significant and unnecessary polluters. Instead of depleting our agricultural industry, it is far better for our world to reduce environmental damage, whether you are in poverty or whether you are the Prime Minister. We're all affected by climate change. We are all humans sharing the same home, one which is in grave danger. So we're calling on you, the Australian government, to work together with us, to respond to your citizens, to protect the country, the people and the world which we love so much. We call on you to uphold the Aussie spirit by giving our planet a fair go. So start using your power to prove to us that you care about it as much as we do. And maybe then we won't have to skip school to demand action to preserve our only home for ourselves and future generations, because apparently that isn't worthy of your attention. I stand for what I stand on. We stand for what we stand on. At ScoMo, you get to choose whether to be looked back on as the government which allowed the climate crisis or the one which changed it for the better. Changed it! Time's running out. So for the sake of the world, it's time to shine. Thank you.
When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass among the flowers. We just let the days pass by. People would tell us to get a grip of ourselves and get a job. We didn't care what we were told, 'cause when we were younger, we used to sit on the grass and go, damn, I don't wanna grow old. I wish I could turn back time. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It wasn't possible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Stealing smokes from your parents. Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free. When we were 17. When we got older, we try to stay in touch, but we had to move on. Life ran away from us. If I could go back, be 17 again, yeah I would, just to see all my friends running around the city acting crazy like we used to do. I wish I could turn back time. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It wasn't possible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smokes from your parents? Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free. When we were 17. When we were 17. When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass and go, damn, I don't wanna grow old. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It wasn't possible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smokes from your parents? Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free. When we were 17. When we were 17.